All right. Well, hey everyone, this is Andy from Overnight Finance, and this is Max Ermilov, CEO and founder of Overnight Finance. Hey, Max.
Hey Andy, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. So today is May 23rd, and we are on our fourth AMA in a row. So going good, going strong, and happy to continue this wonderful streak. So today we're going to talk about our achievements during the last week, and also we will take questions from the community. And as always, guys, top three questions will get some small rewards from us. 10 USD plus for per question. So feel free to shoot your questions. Abdul is our community manager. She's collecting all the questions in the AMA channel. So please feel free to drop your questions there. All right. And also, today we will have members of our community also on the stage and presenting the kind of the view from the community, like the thoughts from the community. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. So let's get going. So, as far as the weekly report goes, we have updated our front page. So we've teased like 2 weeks ago that we were about to update our front page, and we finally released the version. And I can tell you that this was a very important part for us as a team because overnight finance is basically producing stable coins. We're developing a stable coin, right? And stable coin is something in crypto world that is meant to be safe, and that is meant to provide you the feeling of safe. And our previous website, based on your guys' feedback, did not really convey this safety feeling. So we were thinking about, okay, what can we do better? How can we a convey the feeling of safety, but b explain our product better? So if you go on our website, you will see that we have changed the color scheme. So instead of the classical crypto night and space theme, we started to use more traditional for banking, like it's white and blue. Um, um, Kind of these are the colors which are meant to convey stability and safety. Also, we try to rewrite the description of how USD Plus works and what is USD Plus. So we double down on the fact that we're using almost risk-free, like it's a risk-free strategies, and we spend a lot of time with Maxime and with our Maxime, the CPO as well, and our designers, trying to explain it better. What is it USD Plus? Max, yeah, do you want to chime in and just comment on the new design?
Yeah, I think really colors. I understand, Andy, you're paying a lot of attention to that, but I think really the content of the site is what really matters. And I think there were multiple dimensions. We really, as you're pointing out, we're explaining much better how USD Plus is working: one-to-one tag, daily yield, via rebase, and actually that we are going to build insurance on top of that. These are the key features which we're explaining. Then what are the strategies? What are the, why we believe they are low risk strategies, not risk free, but low risk strategies. How we are generating yield, how we're making sure that's liquid. All that is communicated. Now, on the previous site, we didn't have disclosure of the team. So we never hid ourselves. Actually, we rather thought that we should be trendy and kind of have this funny kind of NFT type pictures instead of real people. I think what we heard a lot, and that's a big, big change in my view, is that a lot of people asked us if the team is doxed, if the team is kind of KYC'd and can be identified. It was very important for us to put our real pictures with links to our social media so that you know who you are dealing with, who is responsible for your money, and that we take full responsibility for what we are doing. It's not risk-free. We're trying to make it as risk-free as possible, but you know that we are in full transparency. You know who the team is, where we come from, almost where to find us. So these are very important things. So I think really kind of disclosing all this information really kind of answering the questions in a structured way, like we've been asked them in our community. Providing full transparency is what is really key to this new design.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have been in conversations with other Twitter on other Twitter spaces, and a big chunk of the conversation was around the transparency. What happens is that different companies, they attract clients, but they never reveal their identity. For us it's very important that you know who we are. Like, you can see the whole team, even developers, and yeah, you basically know us, and you can follow every single AMA with us, full transparency, ask questions, and ask very hard questions, because like any hard question just help us get our product better. That is why, please guys, go ahead and ask your questions here. All right, moving on. We are going to development. Analytical platform for assessing profitability of strategies. So to better understand the efficiency of our strategies, we've been working on an analytical platform for collecting statistics on connected protocols and strategies. Max, do you mind commenting on that a little bit? What is it about?
Yeah, I think we at any point in time, so we have very strict risk criteria in terms of how we select the strategies, and we have actually a very kind of specific risk management process. So at any point in time, so we never connect a strategy just like that because we agreed with somebody told us something. We first of all look at the stablecoin which is going to be deployed. If it's borrowable on Aave or not. If it's not borrowable on Aave, we never consider. If it's borrowable on Aave, then we are going to actually really do proper due diligence on the strategy. How we do it? We kind of look at the docs, we look at the code. If it passes, then we kind of spend some development time to connect the strategy to our development stand.
Max, hold on. Max, can you hear me? Max, hold on. Max, hold on. Something happened with my.
Andy?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Sorry, I lost you for a second.
Yeah. So at any point in time, we need to track real yields, kind of transaction-based real data from real protocols in real life on these 2025 protocols, because we noticed that the data on the site, on the front end, and real transaction data sometimes can be as different as 2 times. It can be like two times difference. Some protocols will publish huge APYs. You connect them, you start tracking, realize it's like 3 times smaller. So we always kind of check real yields, we check real performance, we check real volatility of the yields, because that's a very important risk criteria, how stable, volatile daily yield is. We always recalculate back into USDC. We never measure APR or APY into currencies, like into coins simultaneously. Everything is in USDC. So that's a lot of work which goes to getting very right numbers, so that we're very sure of the market risk which we are undertaking when investing into one or the other strategy. So that is why it's actually very important to automate this analytics. So I used to do, like, when we have like 3, 4, 5 strategies, I could do this manually. When you're getting to 2025, and when we start expanding to other networks, like other chains, like Phantom and Avalanche, which we have in plans, you must have it automated. Otherwise, it's just impossible. There's too much risk of error if you do it manually and just not efficient. So we have built a chain where every we have built a system where every strategy we connect to our dev stand or in live production is automatically tracked in our analytical system, and we have calculation of the yield from every strategy in an aggregated way and in an individual way at any point in time on everything we track. And that's a very, very big deal forward, a very big step forward for us. You just wouldn't believe how difficult it is to get the right numbers. And we're very interested in getting the right numbers, and only our numbers must be right at any point in time. So for us to grow further, for us to make sure that your money is safe and well managed, that is really, really important. You don't see it on the front end. You probably don't feel it that much, but it's really, really important that those numbers are right.
Yeah, this is indeed like something that we have a lot of conversation around. Last point for the day from the report: launch of Dystopia pools. So we launched liquidity pools on Dystopia, a derivative of the Solidity exchange, pretty kind of known DEX. Being a positive rebase token, the empirical advantage of USD Plus is that both sides of the liquidity pools witness a forced appreciation. Doing so passively increases the quantities of both tokens within the pair, and by launching liquidity pairs on Dystopia, we've sought to disrupt Polygon's DeFi ecosystem and ecosphere. So, question, Max. I've seen many people just see this kind of rebalancing, and they were like saying, wow, what magic is happening out there? So can you talk more about those Dystopia pools? Why is it cool, and what magic is happening behind this rebalance?
Yeah, so there are various aspects, but why we designed USD Plus is that the original logo, and still the logo, is your money shouldn't sleep. And your stable coins actually sleep, or are capital inefficient, or don't produce yield in many instances. And actually, it's funny to realize it, but stable coins and liquidity pools, they are not working for you as much as they could. Because if a stable coin sits in a pool, unless it's a boosted pool on Balancer or a curve pool, like Tree Pool, it's not producing yield. It's producing fees, it's producing rewards, it's not producing yield, which is I always found very bizarre. And I thought that was one of the reasons why I thought USD Plus would be such a hit. We think that your stable coins in liquidity pools should be producing fees, rewards, and yield. And that's what we have designed. That's what USD Plus is producing. It's producing yield even in the pool. So we run rebase once a day. So we've been publishing some of those screenshots where you see the pool is, for example, 200,000 USDC, 200,000 USD Plus, and then after rebase, suddenly it's 200,000 USDC and 200 and 100 USD Plus. That's rebase which is happening. So kind of USD Plus is increasing in its amount even when in the pool on Dystopia, QuickSwap, like anything which is UniV2 compatible, which is kind of the major DEXs around, including Dystopia, Solidly, and all these guys, Mesh Swap, etc. So that's magic number one. Magic number two is actually also very important. USD Plus you can mint and redeem on demand at any point in time. So anytime you come to us with USDC, we immediately can give you one USD Plus back. More importantly, when you come to us with USD Plus, we can always give you one USDC whenever you ask for it. So that is why pools with USD Plus actually generate a lot of trading volume. Before Dystopia, we launched two pools on QuickSwap, ETH USD Plus and Matic USD Plus. And with that, we became top 10 most tradable protocol on the whole of Polygon, just immediately after launch. What was happening? Arbitrageurs were seeing that USD Plus is exactly like USDC. And so they would arbitrage between ETH USD Plus, Matic USD Plus, and ETH USDC, Matic USDC. So they would take a flash loan in USDC, mint USD Plus, kind of buy ETH with it, and then sell it for USDC and cover their flash loan and some profit. So there was a lot of trading volume which was going on. And so this trading volume, there is rebalance which is happening. Because when they trade like that, the rate kind of rebalances. And the same is going to be on the USDC, USD Plus pool on Dystopia, which is currently the largest pool over there. When people see there is like one USD Plus, it suddenly costs more than one USDC, you can always take the first loan. mint USD plus, sell it in the pool, get USDC, and make some profit, and the other way around. And so this magic is actually what is going to generate for the LPs and for the VDs, for the voters, is very important, because USD plus generates a lot of trading volume. And Dystopia works the way that stakers, so VDs providers, get the fees. And they get the fees from the pools they vote for, and they get the fees those pools generate. So USD Plus generates a lot of volume, so it generates a lot of fees. There's actually going to be a record on the fees. So whoever's going to vote for USD Plus pools on Dystopia is actually going to get a lot of fees. And this is the magic which is going to work on Dystopia for USD Plus, and that's the one which we are hoping to provide. And LPs who are going to provide liquidity into the pools will enjoy all the votes, so all the rewards which will come from the votes which are generated by the fees which we produce. But we'll also enjoy the rebates and the yield which USD Plus will produce while in the pool. So it's going to be the most capital efficient and the most voted pools on Dystopia. It's going to be rock and roll, and you'll see. I cannot disclose everything. But there is an AMA session with Sphere and Pinrose the day before the launch. Come there. There will be a lot of news over there too.
All right, so Max, thank you for that. We've got a ton of questions, so we need to just wrap up with our updates. I have one more thing to add, guys. We have started an initiative which is called Plus Core Team, and the Plus Core Team means we are talking with the community. Me, myself, Max, Abdul, and the whole overnight team is in Discord, and we are in the community, and we are seeing how you participate in our discussions, how you participate in our life, in the life of USD Plus and our company. And what we did is we invited manually several people to join the Core Plus group. So these are our closest friends who will be helping us moving forward with ideas, with testing our projects. They will also have access to some other some internal things and opportunities which we provide to them. But why am I saying all that? Because any one of you can become a part of this Core Plus community. You just need to be kind of as active and as kind of as big of a friend of ours as these guys. And today we'll see someone on this stage from this kind of new community inside a community. I just really wanted to thank those of you who really support us. Some support from early days, some recently joined and started to just participate in the life of USD Plus. This fuels us enormously, a lot. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention, for your ideas, and for your appreciation of what we're doing. Really, really, really huge thank you from me and from the whole team of Overnight Finance.
Yeah, I wanted to actually, really thank Jay Shell for, helping us on the website. A lot of feedback was provided and was very useful. Actually, not just on the website, not on the just landing page, but also setting up that gorge on Dystopia on his own was actually very cool and very helpful in many other dimensions. And Dan Flatchman also, helped us a lot. We met when I was trying to mobilize the community, the Korean community of the Mesh Swap, to vote for USD Plus on Mesh Swap. Those guys don't know what they are wasting and what they are losing by not actually voting for USD Plus pool. And I really appreciate all the support, the rally, the meme, and all the texts which Dan Flashman had written. Thanks a lot. And great to see you guys at the summer session.
Yeah. So moving on to our questions. Before the questions, I wanted to also give Jay Shell an opportunity to just get on the stage and just share a word from the community, because we want to kind of have this also section in our AMA, so that we could hear someone from very close from the community. Jay Shell, do you wanna apply for the stage?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Yeah. How are you, man?
Hey, really honored to be here. I found you guys from being from Sphere, Penrose, Dystopia, among those communities. And when I first heard of USD Plus, I was like, that's not possible. How are you guys making yield on a stablecoin? How can you have a rebasing stablecoin? So I spoke with Max privately, and he really enlightened me how everything works. And yeah, I was sold from day one. Just I love supporting you guys. I'll continue spreading the word. And I hope everyone else in the chat does as well, because there is a lot of good things to come. Can't reveal too much. I'm sure you guys know.
Thanks, Jayshal, and thanks for all the help. Really, really, really useful.
No worries, anytime.
All right, awesome. Let's jump to the question then. We've got the first question from Dark. Can you talk about your process for choosing the stable coins with supporting and why? Well, what, in your opinion, are some of the biggest risks for the project, and what's success look like for this project? Conversely, what does failure look like? Max, we've got a ton of questions, so let's just be efficient in time. So, not
Yeah.
answering too long. Yeah, go ahead.
So for us, what is the most important is risk and liquidity. So we choose only things which are super liquid and can be converted into USDC with no losses. So because we cannot afford even a loss even one day. So we choose things which are extremely have low volatility, so that we know that even on 1 day horizon, we always can give you positive rebates. So there must be profit every day. It's very high bar to maintain. So that is why we always prefer USDC strategies, because we owe you USDC. We also would consider USDT DAI as the highest quality stables. We do not have any other stables at this stage. But if we consider anything, it must be borrowable on Aave. So there must be significant liquidity on Aave, and it should be kind of pass all their kind of quality criteria. And then we would kind of drill down into how stable is the stable we're investing into, and how lucrative is and risky is the protocol which that stable is going to be deployed in. Let me tell you that so far, we've been kind of doing this since November, running the portfolio since November, look at all the strategies. Only USDC, USDT, and DAI have passed our criteria, nothing else. The success is going to be USD Plus, which in parity with USDC, so equal amount of USDC and USD Plus on Polygon. Or maybe also parity with USDT and DAI. That's really kind of the thing for us, because USD Plus is the same as USDC, but pays you yield via daily rebase. So it's actually superior to USDC on everything except kind of conversion to fiat. So it's much better than USDC on all dimensions. So that's why our success is reaching, or maybe a little bit getting ahead of USDC in terms of volume on Polygon.
Great. What about biggest risks which the project can have, and what failure can look like?
So the biggest risks, really, I got really scary. I mean, of course, UST we would never touch. We are all sorry for all the people who lost money, but no algorithmics ever allowed. But when things started getting really scary is when USDT started depegging. And that was the moment that if we had to rebase at that particular point in time, we would have a negative rebase, I think, of like 6 or 7 basis points. So that the depegging didn't happen, and things are back to normal. But at that point in time, I was getting really afraid that, like, even if such major stable coins like USDT or DAI are going to depeg, then we're going to have real problems. On the other hand, we are preparing new strategies to defend ourselves from that. We used to buy things like USDT and DAI, and we keep buying when we need to deploy a stable-to-stable strategy with those stables. We're going to move to borrowing those stables. So if we borrow USDT secured by USDC via Aave, that's actually very capital efficient. But when you owe USDT instead of USDT which you put into USDC pool, then this depegging does not scare you, because your asset, which is your LP in the pool, kind of loses value versus USDC, but your debt to Aave also uses proportionate value. And so it's much less risky because of that. And that's actually one of the major adjustments from UST crisis and like almost depegging of the USDT, which when took place, which we realized. That's something which we are working on to reduce even further the risk of such an event happening. That's really the scariest one. Of course, there's always risk of hacks, and we have all the processes around that and high quality engineers and due diligence of the partner projects and stuff like that. But really, USDT, I realized that was major risk. But borrowing instead of buying it is going to solve it.
Max, this is actually such an exciting concept. Essentially, what you're saying is that, like, if currently our collateral looks like we have 64% USDC and 36% USDT, with borrowing, we will have 100% in USDC as a collateral, which we will kind of use to borrow USDT to use in our portfolio strategies where USDT is needed to generate yield for USD plus. Is that correct?
Oh, yes. Yeah, and DAI as well.
And DAI as
but
well.
It doesn't exclude all the risks, because it's important to understand that the impermanent loss risk does exist on stable to stable pools. So USDT does have impermanent loss. And what we saw during UST crisis is that suddenly the share of USDT in those pools has skyrocketed through the roof. And so when there is depegging, there is impermanent loss, and you're still kind of at risk of USDT depegging. But this risk is going to be much further reduced and mitigated when we move to borrowing. But we'll have some USDT exposure anyway.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Thanks, Dark, for your question. Next question from Shinra. As the protocol gets more known, will you need to increase the team size, and how do you intend to pay them for the work done? How can the average investor... Oh, this is the next question from the same person, but let's tackle the team size and the growth of the team.
So we are 12 people, and we have some of the... And team size actually doesn't matter so much, because a good engineer can be more productive than 10 mediocre engineers. It's funny, but when you program, in particular on blockchain, where quality of your code matters, where understanding what you're doing, where having really fundamental mathematical background actually is very important. One high quality engineer is probably 10, I would say 100x more productive than an average person, average solid engineer. And I think it's actually team size can worsen the productivity if you go after that. So at the moment we are 12, and I think we are really optimal on the team size. Maybe we would like to involve some people in marketing, in business development, but we'll see. Actually, I really rely on our community, and it actually would be really awesome after the second round of VC funding to recruit some people from the community for some of the marketing jobs and maybe some of the business development jobs. So how we are paying people is, well, we are VC backed. We have some very good VCs, very high profile, Hack VC, FG Labs. Hack VC is the new fund by this guy named Alex Pak. He was actually the founder of Dragonfly Capital, very famous, person in blockchain. We're very happy to have him as the lead investor. FG Labs are known as #1 pre-seed investor in the world. So we're very happy with them. Sandeep, Naival, obviously Ryan Selkis, the founder of Misari. Very important that we have Brian Tubergen, and that's actually important for community to know. Brian Tubergen is the co-founder of CoinList, and he is one of our angel investors for a purpose. Obviously, that we already talked to CoinList about potential ICO, and at some point in time, we hope to be able to execute on that with his help. But so far, they have given us the money. There will be second round of VC funding, and then after that, there will be either ICO or IDO of OVN token. And for the community, there will be pre-ICO, pre-IDO, there will be a reward program, which will allow to farm so-called pre-OVNs, so kind of certain tokens which will allow to participate in those ICO, IDO, and that's going to be actually very attractive for everyone. But again, as I said, at the moment we're well funded. There will be another round of VC funding. There's crypto winter coming, most likely, so we would like to be even further, kind of better funded ahead of that. And then depending on the market conditions, whenever crypto winter kind of transforms into crypto spring, there will be an ICO IDO which will allow to pay the team and to motivate the investors, and I hope also will be an opportunity for the community to get their 10x, 100x, 1000x, maybe even.
All right, moving on, Max. The questions keep coming. So
Andy excited because he's also motivated by the 1000x.
Yeah, this is very important. Totally. Yeah, let's repeat that. 1000x, guys. All right, now.
10x, yeah. Not over.
Right, moving on. So how can the average investor use USD Plus and Penrose?
There are a lot of secrets, but we obviously big friends with the Sphere ecosystem, with Simsala, with Tato, and we are big fans of everything these guys are doing. There is huge roadmap. Dystopia and Penrose are just the top of the iceberg. There is a lot of interesting stuff in the pipeline coming out of this ecosystem. We're actually very proud to be part of this ecosystem and partner with them, because USD Plus is the yield generating stablecoin is also going to be kind of a competitive advantage for this ecosystem. But I would like actually I would like actually Simsala to answer this. And one day before Penrose and Dystopia launch on Wednesday, on the 25th, there will be another AMA session with his participation. So please join there. We'll open you a lot of secrets, not all the secrets, but that will be the AMA session for opening the secrets, some of the secrets.
Yeah, we actually wanted to tease it a little bit so that you guys like try to kind of guess who we'll have a session with, but it's revealed now at this point, so it's going to be Sphere. All right, Max, thanks. Moving on. What is the advantage to own OVN token versus USD Plus token? I think a lot of confusion is also coming around those two tokens. Let's just clearly discuss what's the difference.
So OVN token is going to be our governance token. It does not yet exist, or at least it's not tradable. USD Plus is our stablecoin, yield generating stablecoin. So these are two different tokens. USD Plus is going to be always respect to USDC. It gives you yield via daily rebase. It's built to be very conservative, very low risk, and that's why it's a means for you to earn between 8 and 12% APY, maybe some extra when you put it into our reward program, which is being developed, or into pools on Dystopia in particular. If those pools get some, for example, votes from somebody. So OVN token, on the other hand, is going to be our governance token, and actually it will have a lot of functions and a lot of utility. One of it being a means of being used as insurance for USD Plus. It will also give community votes. People who will stake it as insurance will be able to vote for what goes into USD Plus. So people who have put a lot of money at risk, only people who are afraid to lose money at USD Plus gets a negative rebase. So who really care about the risk will be able to vote on what goes, or rather what does not go into USD Plus collateral. So that will be the function of OVN. It's not, as I said, it's not available yet. It will be made available only at ICO, IDO. Before that, we are working on the reward program. And actually, we need to debate it in our Discord, where as part of the reward program, we give so-called pre-OVNs. So 1 USD plus worth of OVNs, which you'll be able to get at our ICO, IDO. Or maybe we kind of offer pre-allocation of OVNs, which will be airdropped to you right after the ICO, IDO. So that's something we are still debating, and actually would like the opinion of the community on. But this is going to be very lucrative and asset OVM, risky but lucrative asset to hold, and that's how you can profit from the project long term.
Yeah, thanks, Max. Moving on, we've got a lot of questions, so let's try to be really as short as possible. Will real-time collateral be shown on the website similar to DAI? Yeah, I think that I can take this one. So it's already, you see our new website, and you can see the collateral portion on the website. It's called collateral in portfolio. Currently, it's USDC 64, USDT 36, and this is live. It is what we have right now currently. So it's not a placeholder. Same goes for strategies in the portfolio. If you look at our website, currently we are invested in 4 portfolio. Right, we are lending USDC to Mesh Swap. Then we were using Arrakis USDC USDT pair. We are lending USDC to Dodo, and Aave just 3%. We are lending USDC to Aave, just 3% of our portfolio. So it's all live, and the numbers of TVL, or how we call it, protocol controlled value, are also live, guys. So it's on our website.
Yeah, there is also a lot of functions in the DApp. So DApp has this section, like middle section. I forgot what's the most recent name of it, but it discloses the performance. So daily payouts. You see how much USD plus you get for each new USD plus you get for existing USD plus with every rebase. You can go and see kind of the rebase transaction on the Polygon scan, but also it has very detailed information about the portfolio, and most importantly about the value of the portfolio, because it's not important just to say how much we have put into the strategy. We are tracking live the value of each position in USDC. So when we put, for example, in Arrakis, which is Uniswap P3, we stake USDC USDT pool at the moment. Live, we are measuring the value of that USDT to USDC. And so when USDT is fluctuating, you can actually see the change in the position. And we are tracking 2 values, like mark to market and liquidation value. Mark to market is how much it's worth if we don't sell too much, or little slippage. And if we sell everything with full slippage. So all that is being disclosed live, and you can track and you can see, and so full transparency and direct links to the chain, so that you know everything which is going on.
Yeah, this is very important. And just again, just to reiterate, guys, these are the top performance strategies currently, and we're tracking more than 20 strategies on the back end. And whenever something goes not as lucrative as we'd like it to be, or something happens with the liquidity amount which they provide, so we will think that it's not as stable as we'd like it to see, then we have mechanism to change, to swap the strategy in our portfolio, to add or to remove one, and to change the strategy in our portfolio.
Actually, yeah, but that is happening through governance, Andy.
Yeah.
So we have forked compound governance, and there is like a mechanism of voting for the new strategies. Only something which goes through due diligence can be voted upon, and then there is a mechanism of the time lock as well. So I mean, that is, we still have not issued our OVN token, so community cannot fully yet exercise control on those strategies, but the mechanism already is superior even to multi-sig. So it's actually very, very important to understand that governance is already state-of-the-art governance, how those strategies get into the portfolio or out of the portfolio.
All right, moving on. Diane Fluchman collected a lot of questions from the community. Let's jump straight to them. You've recently posted an article about the benefits of USD Plus in liquidity pools. Could you give a quick rundown, just a TLDR, Max?
Well, typically a pool with USDC will give you fees and rewards. With USD Plus, it gives you fees, rewards, and yield. So it's way more capital efficient. The surprise which we have discovered is that a lot of, I would say, mid-cap and small-cap tokens, when they establish the liquidity pools, they would like to establish something, a pair against something which is appreciating. Because when you're paired against something which is appreciating and the liquidity is low on your token keeps going up in value. And now there is crypto winter which is coming. So people used to pair with Matic and ETH because they were hoping that would drive up the price of their token. Now those are very volatile and I would say kind of depreciating assets, at least for the foreseeable future. So now a lot of people want to establish pairs with USD Plus because they see this as forced appreciation, as the pair which will create kind of appreciation pressure on their own token and will drive their price up. Well, that's, to me, was a surprise. I never thought that would be the motivation why so many protocols of small and mid-size liquidity now want to pair with USD Plus.
Great answer. Thanks, Max. There was also some discussion on the Dystopia USD Plus USDC pool in general chat. Why would providing liquidity there be beneficial for a liquidity provider? Also, how does the rebalancing work? I think we touched upon that already a little bit, right?
I want to say a few things. So USDC, USD Plus pool, is very characteristic. You take USDC, any other stable on Dystopia is producing fees and rewards. USDC, USD Plus is going to produce fees, rewards, and yield. So way more capital efficient for the LP provider. Also, that pool, as I said, when we launched USD Plus WTH and USD Plus Matic, we immediately shot through the roof in terms of the trading volumes. We're going to move those pools also to Dystopia, and we'll generate a lot of volume in trading just because arbitrageurs are going to arbitrage USD Plus against USDC. And that pool, USD Plus USDC, is going to be the major pool through which they convert USDC into USD Plus and USD Plus into USDC. That's our only stable-to-stable pool at the moment. So it will see a lot of volume, much more volume that you would expect from a new token like ours or from any other stable coin on Dystopia pool. So, whoever is going to lock in their dist and vote, I think that is going to be the pool which will give you maximum commissions just because there will be such huge volume of trading on those.
Great, Max. Another question. Will USD Plus strategy yield be divided across the different chains in the future? Or will the USD Plus daily rebates differ across different chains? I think this is an amazing question. Yeah.
So we see USD Plus, like a rate you can get on the dollar in the fiat world in the US, or for example in Turkey, risk-free rate or local USD rate will be different. So in Turkey it will be much higher than in the US, and so it will be different for every country. So we see every chain a little bit like a new country with its own kind of characteristics. So on Polygon is going to be USD Plus. Everywhere is going to be one USDC, so it's going to be $1. But the rate everywhere is going to be different because strategies are going to be different, and every chain is unique, and the dynamics of the rewards and competition, and risks make it such that on every chain it's going to be one USDC always, but different yield, except mainnet Ethereum. Once we go to Phantom and Avalanche and a bunch of others chains, we will need to go to Ethereum. And the plan on Ethereum, and that's going to happen after our second VC round, but before the ICO IDO, maybe around the time of ICO IDO, that we're going to launch USD Plus on Ethereum, backed by USD Plus Polygon, by USD Plus Phantom, USD Plus Avalanche, and whatever other chain we go to. So there's going to be a way for high-class investors to get exposure to diversified yield from all the non-Ethereum chains, which we're going to be, and yield farm by just buying USD Plus on Ethereum at big, huge volumes, and then the rest will be handled by USD Plus. So that's the plan, or at least that was the plan before UST and the upcoming crypto winter. So we'll see.
Thanks, Max. There's a question about partnership and possible partnership. I think we touched upon that already. I don't think we can share more details now. So you will just tune in on Wednesday, guys. On Wednesday, we'll have a huge AMA, and yeah, we'll have more details there. So we're super excited about what's coming on Wednesday, and really, really inviting you there. What is that, Max?
And Thursday as well, yeah.
Yeah, and Thursday as well. Yeah, really looking to what's coming. All right. So another question from Dark. Could you go into more detail explaining the M2M and how the portfolio manager interacts with it? How does you guys come to choosing Polygon as the starting network? So the first one is M2M and portfolio manager.
So M2M is essentially well, it's mark-to-market value. So it's a way for us. It's the value, for example, when we want to estimate the value of USDT, which we have in our portfolio in USDC, we just take the oracle for USDT rate to USDC, and we kind of multiply the position in USDT by that oracle number, and that's how we get the value of USDC. So that's M2M, and that's what we use when we need to rebalance the portfolio or calculate daily rebase, because that's kind of the biggest proxy to how much those assets are worth. We also are very conscious about measuring the liquidation value. And liquidation value is what if we have to really sell all the USDT which we own in the open market in one transaction. That's actually not a situation which is very likely, but if we, for example, immediately need to move our entire position of USDT back into USDC because of the risk of DPEG, like recently, then this might happen. So it's like really stress scenario, which we try to measure. And so there we measure what if we have to sell all the USDT for USDC, all we own, and there is of course slippage and there is difference because of that, and liquidation value is always lower than mark to market. So whenever we manage our portfolio, daily P&L, and target weights of specific strategies, we always operate with M2M, which is the oracle value. Whenever we think risk, liquidity, and risk in mind, we always operate liquidation value.
All right, moving on, Max. How do you come with to choose Polygon as the starting network?
Why has no one yet created something like USD Plus? There were many attempts on the mainnet, but USD Plus makes so much sense in the traditional fiat world, the so-called money market funds, and by regulation from SEC, every money market fund in the fiat world has to make sure that the unit of the money market fund is always $1. So really, the SEC regulation is that those guys are stable coins generating yield, and there is like 5.2 trillion of that asset class in the traditional fiat world. It's like one of the biggest asset classes there is. So it makes so much sense. And why no one has done that on the blockchain before us? Because it requires putting a lot of logic, a lot of algorithms inside the coin, like the entire portfolio management mechanics, mark-to-market mechanics, rebalancing mechanics, all has to be inside the coin. So if you launch something like that on Ethereum, every transaction would be like $400. And rebase would be like $3,000. So no economics actually is able to support anything like that. So we needed to start with something which allows us to put not something which does not have cheaper gas, but something which allows us to put more logic inside the coin. At that point in time, Polygon met all of our criteria, and that's where we decided to launch. Of course, Phantom is good, and of course, Avalanche is great. Arbitrum, Optimism, the guys we really look forward to, but also Aurora, the EVM compatible chain on top of Near makes a lot of sense to us. Neon, so EVM compatible on top of Solana. Many things like that make a lot of sense, and we'll be kind of looking where else to go. And eventually, of course, Ethereum, but as I said, we cannot have all this logic inside the Ethereum token. That's why we'll have tokens from other chains inside USD Plus on Ethereum.
Great answer, Max. Another question from Grizzling. A great product is the best marketing. A great product and the best marketing is the best marketing any project could have. Have you developed or are you planning to develop a program for ambassadors so that the overnight project can get more good publicity and attract a lot of people? What are the steps involved in this process? Yeah.
I don't know which steps, but this is very high on the priority, on our list of priorities. That's very, very high there.
Yeah. I can also.
And Andy is developing all the process for that.
I can also take that. So, well, thanks for the question, Grizzling. Yeah, ambassador program is extremely important for us because we feel the power of the community. We feel how community can move us forward. However, what we're doing right now is we are finding friends first, because we have seen many different ambassadors programs, and in most of them, companies give away some kind of like monetary rewards, and we feel that at this point we're not that we don't have money to give to our to people, but at this point it is way more important to have healthy relations with the community. We don't have like thousands of people, we don't have like dozens of thousands of people, right? But who we have are so valuable for us that we want to maintain the clarity of this audience, so that we really hear them out and we really move the product where these people tell us to do so. So ambassadors program is high priority, but we want to develop it together with you guys so that we understand what makes sense, right, and what doesn't make sense. Because like we could say, hey, like we're giving away some kind of like a little bit of tokens or a little bit of USD plus, but some people will be offended by that because many people are just doing so much for us, including the ones who we mentioned above, that it's just like it's pure relations, and we might offend like people by saying, hey, here's just like our like $10 or $20 $50. It's we have to be very mindful to that. So at this point in time, we really want to make sure that we are making the right moves and develop this ambassadors program together with you guys. Max, anything to add here?
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said.
All right, moving on.
And I think what we want to make sure is that our ambassadors profit not immediately, but profit from our long-term success. And in particular, they're committed, in good sense, we are committed to them profiting from ICO, IDO eventually. That I think it should be the thing where we are all aligned. We would like people not to make $10. We would like people to profit from our ICO, IDO, maybe disproportionately. But details still need to be kind of figured out.
Yeah, 100%. Another question. Where is that? Yeah, what's the difference between yield and rewards?
Yield is just extra USD plus, which just grows in your wallet. So USD Plus, the collateral kind of earns profit every day, and that profit is passed back to you, except a small fee which will appear at some point in time, which is not there yet. So all the profit at the moment goes back to you in the form of rebates. So if you have like 10,000 of USD Plus, after rebates, typically you have like 10,002. And just you do nothing, no staking, no, you just don't, you do nothing. You just enjoy that this $2 every day on the 10,000 of USD Plus. And if it's in the pool, it's growing there. If it's in your wallet, it's growing there. If you use it as collateral for a loan, eventually it's growing there and maybe self-repaying your loan. So there are a lot of, this is the yield. This is the profit that you're getting back, we're putting back to you. This is not a reward. This is profit. The reward program is something which we will develop. It will be linked to our governance token. That will be extra.
Yeah. Guys, I think we are done with all the questions. If there's anyone in the audience who'd like to get on the stage and ask their questions, just a reminder: we have an AMA with Max Ermilov, the CEO and founder of Overnight Finance. For those who joined us on Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn, and we're wrapping things up. So, guys in Discord, just raise your hand and I'll put you up on the stage if you have any more questions. There's there's a rule, Max. You have to count up until 10 for awkward silence when people just formulate a question and get ready to get on the stage. So guys, let's give you some more time. All right. I think that then if nobody wants to get on the stage, then that's it for today. Oh, we got Grizzling. Hey Grizzling, how's it going, man?
I'm doing fine. How are you guys?
Hi.
How you guys doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Okay. I'm okay. Um, my quick question: where do you expect to see this project in the long term? What features will you be rolling out in the nearest future to stay ahead of the market? You know, we're currently in a bear market. So, are you confident that you keep developing and sustaining this project in this bear market?
Max, I cannot hear you. Maybe it's just me. Do you guys hear Max? No, they don't hear Max. Nope, Max, they don't hear you. No, Max, we don't hear you. No, Max, we don't hear you, Max. Yeah, maybe you can just type in the chat, overnight AMA chat there, and I will just voice it for everyone who's listening. I can probably start answering your question, Grizzling. So you were asking about the short-term and long-term goals, right, for the project, and like based on our roadmap, from what I know currently, or what I know currently is we want to continue with experimenting with connecting new strategies and making sure that we are connecting like all the strategies like which we can test, and make sure that we have a good backlog of strategies which we can all use for USD Plus. Another short to midterm goal is to go on other networks. So beyond Polygon, we currently have already we're working with the Phantom, and we have a bunch of a bunch of strategies connected there, and we're testing Phantom strategies. They're not currently as lucrative as Polygon, so we're not releasing this yet. But this is something that we're doing right now. The next will be probably Avalanche, so that we will be truly multi-chain, and we'll go further. Then the next question, then the next stage is we're going to have USD plus insurance, so that you are insured from any impermanent loss possible. So it's going to be like bulletproof product, USD plus, right? So you won't have any even theoretical chances of impermanent loss with our insurance. Yeah, and long term, we're going to grow our TVL and like a lot. We'll have partner. We'll go to centralized exchanges. You know that we have been accepted in Binance accelerators, so we're we hopefully will we really hope that at some point we'll get on Binance, being accepted there. Yeah, so these are the key things which I can talk about right now. Max, have you figured out how to get on the stage? No, not yet. Well, I think that that's probably it for today then, because we've tackled all the questions here. So guys, give us some reactions in chat. I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much. I think it's been amazing. We'll like this format. This is the first time we're doing AMA on Discord. Previously, we've done that on Twitter Spaces, on Telegram, on Facebook. But this is like definitely the best place to do it. So we'll continue doing that. But we'll figure out how to have less technical issues here, because we have to not only be here in Discord, but also we have to record it so that we could just put it on our YouTube channel. So bear with us. We will get through those technical issues. All right. So Max, thanks a lot for your participation. Max waves me virtually, so I see him waving, and see you really soon. Tune into our announcements, and see you all on Wednesday. Thank you, guys. Bye.